Yeah, that's what we say.
Snowing is crazy.
Yes.
And folks,
yes.
for those of you that were on time, that is all you need to do to hit $10,000 a month. And so that bonus information was for those of you that were on time. For the rest of you, guess you should be on time.
Thanks, Fred.
I was on time.
Fred, yes.
Now,
I'm
I'm
looking
not
for a
going to tell you
bonus.
how fast I was driving on the freeway to get here on time, but I was on time. And again, for those of you that made it on time, that's the only thing you need to do to hit 10,000 a month. And for the rest of you that weren't here on time, guess you will be next time, right? All right, folks, listen, I want to cover a couple quick things real fast, and I'm going to just open it up to all of you. Reviewing last week's get-together, the two important things that we wanted to focus on for this upcoming week was everybody getting their story posted. You know, not so much so that you can broadcast your story, but so that each one of the team members knows your story. All right, that way you can, like actually I learned something about Robin I was completely unaware of. Okay, she was involved in property management, had no idea. Okay, there's a unique background that can apply to a lot of potential distributors. You know, people that are involved in real estate, you know, people, you know, property manager. I mean, I could, you know, attribute that to maybe somebody that's actually in the trades, because a property manager has to deal with those kinds of things, right? And so there's a natural application of knowing other people's stories. Now, here's something that's very interesting. Because we're getting enough stories now, you don't even have to have that person's story as you know, for third-party validation. You can share your story and the stories of others, right? Share your story and the stories of others. So kudos to those of you that have been putting your story out there. Thank you to Brian and Kate. I'm including Kate just as a courtesy. Thank you to Brian and Kate for getting those things up there. Brian's going, yeah, that's right. It wasn't there.
We don't have an apple today.
Oh, now that's just way too cute. Robin, you gave a thumbs up and a clap thing. Oh, man. I'm like way behind the times on that deal. So anyway, the stories. And then the other thing that we wanted to focus on from last week was doing a third-party connection call, you know, a Zoom meeting, what have you. You know, I mentioned that that Ernest had done that with a young lady from
Belgium.
Belgium, thank you, who is actually studying in Belgium. She's from Nigeria, okay, and because he did that with her, and we've had a couple of meetings, gotten her focused on what she needs to do, beginning activities. She had scheduled a three-way call or a three-way Zoom meeting, third-party validation Zoom meeting for today, for this morning. Now, her prospect didn't show. That's okay, because and I'm actually going to have Ernest maybe share a little bit. That time that we spent with this young lady in Belgium was incredibly valuable. Okay, you know, would have been more valuable had we been able to prospect somebody, you know, to complete that third-party validation call. But she got a lot of really high-end training by simply being there and dealing with the fact the guy didn't show up. All right. So, rhetorical question. How many of you have yet to get your story posted so the rest of the team members can hear it? Number two, how many of you completed at least one third-party validation call to do the deal this past week? Because if you did, then you're focusing on doing the correct activities. If you didn't, that's probably a clue on something you need to work on, right? All right. Ernest, and I hate to put you on the spot, Ernest, but I'm going to do it anyway. What's your takeaway from our conversation this morning with Temi? in terms of the value of that conversation for her?
I think it was extremely valuable, Brett, team. It was interesting because for me, it gave me an opportunity to continue my learning as Fred was coaching her, and it also gave me an opportunity to further understand what I'm working with and the potential of this woman. And she's very on point. She's coachable, and I think that you know what she learned today from just this guy not showing up, and how important it is for her to be like a duck. It just rolls off your back. Uh, who can? Well, how does the phrase go? Someone's looking, who cares? Someone's waiting. You guys familiar
Some
with
will,
that?
some won't.
Some will,
What?
that's right.
Next.
Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. So she understands that. As a matter of fact, I did follow up with her, and she's scheduled to talk with I think his name is Franklin, and she hadn't contacted with Charles yet, but she's working on those two individuals.
Well, we learned one of the things that would happen, and I appreciate what Ernest said. One of the missing ingredients, and again, folks, I'm not bragging here, okay? But I'm going to tell you that if you were to do a three-way, Zoom meeting or telephone call between yourself, a prospect, and me, the value of that is not just having my story. The value of that is the additional level of training and understanding you're going to receive from doing this with me. And again, I'm not saying I'm the end all. I'm not. But in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. There has got to be something that I can offer you in terms of, 30 plus years of experience, multiple seven figures of income during that period of time, thinking about the number of times that I have actually done a three-way call. Okay, there has to be some value to that. Hence why that was one of the objectives from last week, was to find somebody to use for a third-party validation, whether it would be one of our team members here, somebody else in your upline, Pat Anderson, Barbie, both of those people, they know what they're doing, all right, or myself. So one of the other takeaways from last week was the concept of, in the first 30-day game plan of our 3 30-day game plans, 90-day game plan that we're going to be doing here, did you set goals? Did you, did you get those goals? Did you achieve those goals? And why? Right? Did you set goals? Did you achieve them? Why? 3 things. Okay? Which is essentially the same thing as, plan, do, review. Just another way of saying it, right? And so hopefully many of you, in response to last week, recognize as of now, we're halfway through the second 30-day game plan. Did you set goals for this time frame? Are you doing the correct activities to achieve those goals? And how close are you? Are you halfway to those goals? Now, I don't really, if your goal was to bring in, 4 new customers or distributors during this 4-week period of time, honestly, it's not an issue to me. Did you, we're beginning our 3rd week. Did you already get 2 of them? Because we're halfway through the 4-week, period. Very typically what will happen is you'll be doing the deal, making your contacts, continuing that process, and all 4 may come in the last, 2 weeks, the last 1 week, because of the requirement for multiple exposures and that sort of thing. But it's a guarantee you're not going to have 4 people coming in the last week. Your goal was to have 1 a week for 4 weeks. You're not going to have 4 coming in the last week if you wait until the last week to call, 40 people instead of 10 a week. Even if they all come in, it's not going to be this period, because you're going to have a second follow-up, a third follow-up, some questions. Then you got somebody's got to wait till Friday, when the paycheck comes in to be able to get the deal done. It's just not all going to happen if you wait and try and compress 4 weeks worth of activities into 1 week. It is a compounding effect. Same thing in the gym. Okay. You can't go to the gym, work out for a week and expect to have a year's worth of results. Even if you work out for several hours every day, it's not going to be months worth of work. So some thoughts for you for this upcoming week. Do you have a plan? Are you executing on the plan? And did you get the results you're looking for? Why or why not? Part of being self-employed is the requirement and the ability to self-assess. And this is something we have to teach people, because the vast majority of people have never understood the concept of self-employment. They work for somebody. Now, Kate and Brian, for example. Brian's in real estate, okay? He's an independent contractor. He hasn't got anybody out there saying, did you prospect, 20 people this week to get a listing? Nobody's telling him to do that. He's got to go do that. Same, Kate was in merchant services. There wasn't anybody saying, did you prospect 20 businesses this week to get 4 new accounts? People that are self-employed, they understand this, but the 95%ers, they show up, do what they're told, once every year, once every 6 months, they get an evaluation where the business owner, the supervisor, then goes through and identifies weaknesses and that sort of thing. We have to be able to do that for ourselves. And that's why it's so important to, establish your plan, do the plan, evaluate at the end, and self-correct. And so the rhetoric question is, are each one of you on track to hit your goals? And the simple way to figure that out is, are you doing the correct activities on a daily basis? How many people did you talk to today about the product? How many people did you talk to today about the opportunity? How many new people that joined your business did you engage in teaching them how to duplicate that? Because if you're doing the activities, the results will follow. If you're not doing the activities, those results will follow. So now we need to transition. This should be an opportunity here that we spend on once a week to mutually, and I'm not going to be the one that necessarily has all the answers. Some of you will be able to provide the answers that one of the team members is looking for. But I want you to take advantage of the fact that I've been, around such a long time. I've worked with a lot of people. What areas are you investing time in that it seems to be a struggle? What areas are you looking to get some assistance and help with? What are the things that you need to hear from the time that we have together that can benefit you in achieving the goals that you have? This is your time now.
I have a question. I'm struggling with confidence of picking up the phone. I'm a chicken. My chicken list is like many business card.
Just do it. Pick one and just do it.
Now, that's actually a very good answer. Okay, now let me explain why. And Robin, 2 extra points for you and a gold star for your forehead, because you asked a question or presented a challenge that everybody else is experiencing but wasn't brave enough to say it. Okay, so first things first, the fact that you were willing to be that authentic and in full disclosure is a good sign that you're already partway through that process. Okay, understand something. This phone, everybody's phone weighs 10,000 pounds when they go to pick up the phone to call somebody. Now, I'm going to give you the magic. Are you ready? Get your notes ready, because I'm going to give you the magic. Just do it.
Mhm.
Okay? So I wasn't kidding. Barbie's answer is perfect. You have to understand the difference between people that succeed at extremely high levels and those that don't is very little. And if people understood how significant those small changes, how significant the results can be, they wouldn't hesitate. Understand or analyze why. Okay, why are you chicken? Well, it might be because you know, what's the other person going to think of you? You know, oh, you know, I had such high regards for Robin, and now find out she's doing this multi-level deal. You know, embarrassment. What are they going to think? How are they going to respond? How am I going? It's always ends up being something about yourself that concerns you and keeps you in the way, or you know, it keeps you from getting out of your own way to call them. And you have to understand, whatever it is you think they're going to think of you or how they're going to respond or whatever, they're not.
And if they do,
Okay.
so what?
Exactly.
I've started, I mean, we've all been there. I mean, and anybody who says they're not telling you the truth.
Oh, they're lying.
And so something that's helped me, especially that this is such a perfect opportunity. And like I say, my list that I'm following up on and new people, it's endless, but they need to hear what I know. And that helps me pick up the phone. I'm so excited that, with this losing weight thing, I mean, for me, but even that, everything I've tried has exceeded my expectations. And so people who like used to be in your organization or whatever, we owe it to them to at least send them some information and follow up and see if they got it. And so far, the percentage of those is ranking very positive. And those, I did another 3-way with Daniela this week with another new person. And then we sent off some things, and it's just, and like I say, I understand, but you just gotta, I always pray. I mean, I'm just gonna go put it out there. I just say, okay, Lord, here goes, and give me the right words, help me hear what they need to hear. And some of them it's a wait, but I've not had anybody just flat out say, forget it. I will hit 1 or 2 or 3 probably, but I just want to encourage you. And I understand what you're saying. And when I listened to that one thing, as a man thinketh, it just like turned the switch in my brain. So I don't know if that helps at all, but that's
Barbie, you just hit on something that's really very important. Okay. Your mind cannot tell whether you're lying or not. Honestly, especially in the early days, and I did this also as well when I got back into zThe, because there was a break in time there from the time I was actively engaged in multi-level till I re-engaged with zThe. Okay, I spend a couple of minutes just self-talk, right? I'm excited about calling these people. I'm excited for their opportunity to hear from me. Everybody wants to hear what I have to tell them. Everybody wants to join my business. Everybody wants to buy my product. And I'm going to find somebody right now who gets to be the lucky first person today. It's John. Boom, 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 boom. John, Fred Holmes. How you doing?
Lucky.
Okay.
That's a powerful approach, actually.
Because your brain doesn't know whether you believe what you're saying or not. It's only hearing the words. And Robin, you have to value yourself.
Yes.
Okay? What is it about you that does not deserve success, does not deserve financial prosperity, does not deserve the, you know, the recognition from your team members for being that powerful woman who empowered them to achieve their dreams.
Mhm.
There's nothing about you that is unworthy of that.
That's great.
Now, the one other thing I'm going to say, and I appreciate the question. The one other thing I'm going to say, it's like going to the gym. The first one's going to be the worst day. I guarantee it. When you go that first Monday going back to the gym, it's the worst day. Wednesday, guess what? You think it's going to be better? No. It's the second worst day. What you want to do is you want to do this regularly enough so that when you eventually get to a point in time, my man Brian will dig this, when if you don't go to the gym, it's the worst day. Okay? I was really tired today. Okay? And, you know, I have problems with my back before I even got out of bed this morning. You know, and you know what? I still had to go. And it wasn't a great workout, but it was a workout. And I walked out the door going, you know what? Good for you, Fred, because you did the deal. All right? And if that's the worst day I have in the gym, that's a great day. But let me tell you what the worst day would have been if I didn't go to the gym today. So have confidence in the fact that, you know, some of the people you're going to talk to are going to be excited to hear from you. Some aren't. The absolute worst thing that could ever happen won't. The worst conversation you could think you'll have isn't going to happen. And if it did happen, it won't be as bad as you thought it would be.
Right.
Okay? I guarantee it. Do yourself the kindness of doing the first one. But when you do that first one, make sure you've already got planned the next 3. And just do it. Do it often enough because you deserve the success, you deserve the recognition, you deserve the prosperity, you're a worthy person, and this one little tiny thing, which is picking up the phone, cannot beat you.
That's right.
Okay? It is not your master. You are the master.
Right.
You got it? Okay, so now I'm going to challenge you. We've got 7 days till the next Monday meeting. How many contacts in your daily method of operation can you make on a daily basis? Have you established a number?
Yes, between 10 and 20 easily.
Okay, that's calls. I'm talking about conversations.
Well, it depends on whether I get with it or not, and whether I chicken out on the first one.
No. The minute you speak into the existence, the potential of you weaseling out,
Yes.
then you can.
Yeah. It's not an option.
Yeah.
I mean, you have too much to offer to hoard it and not share it with your friends. I mean, it's
Good way to put it.
Your brain does not know whether you're lying or not, but it does understand everything you're saying. You just said it depends on whether I weenie out or not.
I
Don't
can
feed
do
that
10.
into your brain.
I can do 10 a day.
Okay.
text me when you're starting and I will support you.
Okay.
Let me do this. I'm going to challenge you not to do 10 a day. We're going to give you 1 day off. Okay. 6 days a week, right? There's nothing wrong with working 6 days a week.
Right?
God created the world in 6 days. I think, you know, that's probably a clue. Okay. You know, success leaves clues. Not 60 people, not 10 a day, not 5 a day, 30 people. I'm going to challenge you to have conversations, not making phone calls, making enough phone calls so that you can have conversations with 2 people per day over the next 6 days. And then I want to hear a report back from you on Monday. Okay? Now, be very clear on this. 2 a day.
Okay.
Not 12 on Saturday. If you only have one conversation tomorrow, you're going to have to do 3 the next day to keep pace because it's 2 a day.
I would write down even what time, like start in the morning, like I don't know what your schedule is, but choose a time, and then you're accountable to your list. You have to, if you have to leave a message, then write a time for after lunch.
Okay.
You know, just when you want to
Get it
lay
done.
down in bed, you know you've talked twice.
Something, Robin, I don't know if it'll help you, but there was nobody that was more shy and more insecure about speaking in public, talking to people, prospecting a customer. I don't care how bad you are. You're already doing better than I was when I started. And the way I figured out how to do this, and actually I've relied on this an awful lot of my life, okay, because I was never that guy. People don't get it. I was never that guy. I always pretended, okay? When I was a young fella and talking to girls, I pretended. What would I be acting like if I was one of those guys that was confident to talk to girls? What would they say? How would they, what would be their posture? When it came to doing my first business presentation, I acted because I was not comfortable doing it. What would the people at the front of the room be like? And so I tried to act like that. I mean, truly take on a role, completely stepped outside of who I was and tried to be an actor. And so, pretend like you're me picking up the phone, calling somebody. When I call somebody, all I know is that it is their luckiest day of their life that I thought enough of them to call them and offer them an opportunity to work with me. Okay? I don't work with most people. Most people are in the 80%ers.
It's true.
So I'll send them to my new distributor training, or I'll send them to the Biz Talks presentation, because honestly, I'm so good, I have to reserve myself for the 20%ers.
Yes.
Now, I want you to take that egotistical mindset and pretend you're Fred Holmes when you pick up that first phone call.
I'll
But
do
make
that.
sure when you do that, and I might be a little late to start today, but when you start tomorrow, make sure when you make the first phone call, you make another dozen after that. Don't let yourself, off the hook by going, oh, that first one was terrible. I'm going to need a whole day of drinking to get over it. Okay? All right. I'm going to leave you guys now.
Thanks.
Feel free to take another few minutes as a group. I asked, what are the challenges you're having? Okay? And Robin was the first one to speak up. And we've offered, myself and Barbie have offered Robin some suggestions. And how are you feeling about some of these suggestions, Robin?
Much better. Great.
Okay. Okay.
Good. I have something concrete to work on. I was kind of just, now what do I do? So that's good. You gave me something to get my teeth into. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I'm glad to hear that was your response. Every single one of you has something to offer the other person, and it's independent of seniority or time investment and that sort of thing, because getting advice from somebody outside looking in is so much better, because we get so stuck in what we see about us, we don't have the ability to look from in. You see what you understand? I'm not doing a very good job of describing it, but having somebody from the outside looking in is so much more beneficial. It's one of the reasons why I review my trainings. When I do a Saturday morning training, when I do a Biz Talks, anything that I can get a recording of, I go back and I review it, because I look at it as a third party at what Fred Holmes did, and it helps me critique what I did, because I have no idea if I'm in the middle of this looking out. I'm thinking what's happening. Okay, so each one of you can provide some support or assistance to the other person. You're welcome to stick around for a little bit, maybe take one more person, and work on your daily method of operation. Let's put some numbers on the board. Okay, you're going to feel good about yourself. That's it for now. I got to run.
Thanks, Fred.
Thank
Hey,
you, Brad.
See you guys.
You bet.
So I've talked to a few people this week, one-on-one, and a similar theme has come up, and maybe Barbie would be able to answer this, or maybe even Kevin could add his input. It seems that we're having an issue transitioning from our favorite zThe products into the isogenics products. So how do you address that within yourself when you may not be using all those products yet, and maybe in some cases you may not even want to use them at all?
Kevin, do you want to go first?
He's on mute, and there he is. Okay.
Kevin, you want to go first, and I'll go second.
You could go for it. I'm trying to get in the spot where I can get good video on. Just bear with me.
Yeah.
We
can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. It started right here for me, to be honest. When I found out what was going on before it came down, and I'm thinking 10 years, and like actually yesterday, I finished cleaning out 2 filing cabinets and a closet full of 10 years of training materials. And it was like an emotional, it was very emotional for me. But when I first heard it, my first thing was like Chris Estes says, oh my gosh, you know, I've never done this and now it's gone. Then when I heard about Josh Plant, I trust him, and I just made a conscious decision. Mr. Brailsford, I really believe he would not hand us over if he doesn't think it was in our best interest. So I've just made a mental decision that I will accept. I have sent some notes, and I have talked to Josh Plant about things that I feel need to stay around, you know, and everybody has that option. Having done that, it's out of my hands. And I've just made a choice that I'm going to enjoy them. I mean, I know that really sounds simple, but I'm a very simple-minded person. And if there's, like I say, there was a product that I felt strongly enough about, and I knew enough about it that I felt I had to tell somebody, and I did. But I've actually, like I said, I mix my isogenic, I do the plant protein, I mix mine in my super mix. And I'm just telling you, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, this is my option. I'm going to like it, you know. And I had somebody years, oh gosh, 40 some years ago tell me, who's the boss? You're your taste buds. Now, well, that ruffled my feathers. I was like, I mean, it really ruffled my feathers, but it was a decisive moment for me. Now it's one thing if, you know, we've got to kind of experiment and find out maybe what things work the best for us, since there are options, you know. But I've just, and maybe that doesn't resonate with you, but it was a mental, I'm not saying you're whining. I just wanted to make sure I didn't catch myself whining. You know, it's one thing to just state, this is how it is, but unless, and I think that was part of that turning in my brain. Once I embraced the change and I really start investigating what we have, it was like starting all over with zThe. And it's like, I just, you know, and Fred helped me. I said, Fred, my mind is going just all over the place now that it's working like it did the early days of zThe. I got to talk this person. He goes, Barbie, write it down.
Good point.
And that's what, so if you saw my day timer, I write specific names, you know, some of them are about weight, some are about, but understanding and embracing them myself, and really believing, not talking, not self-talk, but I really believe we have the best at our fingertips. And I'm using different products so that I can firsthand tell somebody. I can't do the energy products. I got to rely on somebody else, rely on somebody else for the caffeine. But I understand that. And when they sent out that list, okay, if we were using this, here's the alternative, I'm not particularly fond of the collagen broth, but I am acquiring a taste for it. And so that's the mindset that I have. And like I said, that may be very simplistic and like, seriously, that's all you've got to give me. But I just tell you, that's what worked for me. Now that may not work for somebody else, but that's all I had to give you.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's excellent. For me personally, there's a couple of ingredients in a couple of the products that are not good for me.
Right. Same here.
And so it's been difficult to be able to embrace the entire system because the one particular ingredient goes against my genetic.
Right. Well, that's what I have to deal with too. Like Ben Bowers is my doctor, and we just went the 2-hour genetic review. We did one 5 years ago. Just did another one, and this might help you. You may not be able to, but probably most people can.
Exactly. And
so give them the opportunity to find out for themselves. And we don't have to tell them, like, I can't take this because, whatever. That's where like people's stories are nice. Maybe like I can't give somebody a story about the energy drinks, but I have access to a lot of people who do use those. And so, and that might help Robin too. Their products are good and they have a track record, and we can, as we're building our belief system, just like the early days. I mean, when I started in zThe, it wasn't even a year old yet. Okay, there weren't many stories. And I went on Mr. Brailsford's, his history and his validity. So I understand what you're saying exactly. If you can't use it, it's sort of hard to tell somebody else, but there are a lot of varieties of products. So you could have a story to share with something. And I just today before the call, I'd sent an email to somebody who had used zThe and didn't lose the weight. And so I sent them all the product profiles for our weight system and said, there's nothing in here that flags me, but it's your decision. And remember, you get your money back. So again, that's just how I think. Wrong or right, I'm not sure, but
it works for you, and it's great advice, and I appreciate it. Like you said, it's simplistic, and that, and this one thing that Fred's always taught us: this is a simple business, but it's not easy.
Right.
But the simplicity of it is to keep doing it over and over again, and don't overthink it.
Right. And they will pick up on your hesitation when you're talking to them. They really will. And you won't say it, and they might even not be looking at you, but they will catch your enthusiasm and your confidence just in how you present it. And so I don't have any original quotes. Anything I've ever learned in this business is somebody else's.
Borrowing from the best.
That's right. But you can't give what you don't possess.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's new under the sun.
There is. No, you're exactly right. And it is, do I get no's? Yeah. Do I get people who don't pick up and I know they're there? Yeah. So then I send them a text and tell them but I never let them know that I know they're there. I'll just say, I'm sorry I missed you, but I got to talk to you. So I'll try later. Or if you get home first, give them that opportunity. And if it's somebody I really feel I need to connect with, I don't give up. It may take me days, you know, but I would just, you know, as a man thinketh, you know, it starts here. So anyway, I appreciate all you guys. And I'm just so excited with these products that I'm getting my brain back.
Oh, and I'm excited for you, and just I appreciate your leadership. You really have polished that diamond. It's back in use.
There's still plenty of rough edges there.
That's okay. We keep polishing it.
That's right.
So yeah, I don't want to take this too long. So I don't know if anyone else has anything brief, or you know what Fred
Well, I
said.
just wanted to say, Kate, to Barbie, that I'm elated to have your wisdom, and what I've found about you, Barbie, is that you do keep it kind of straightforward. You just, you know, this is it, and it resonates with me to continue that. And of course, I think Robin, in terms of what Bobby was saying, just, you know, and it's all about posture. I've found this posture thing is huge, because when you pick up the phone and you have a story to tell, or you really want to share these products with people, that's it right there. And then it's just a matter of doing it.
Yeah, well, Ernest,
and
quite
again.
the posture you've got going on there with those dark glasses. We can't even see your eyes.
You know,
We're hypnotized.
Is it, what's Fred do? Hang 10 or hang 5 or whatever?
Sorry.
There you go.
I was just giving you a hard time because it was
no,
real cool.
they are blue. I put a tint. These are my glasses with a blue tint in them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but you can kind of see what the light. It's getting dark here in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, stay safe, everyone. Have a great week, and keep in touch, whether through the messenger group or just pick up the phone and call us or text us, or you know, indivially.
We're all in the trenches together.
Okay.
To make it up to that.
We're all at home together.
Yes.
Bye.
Take
Thanks,
care.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.